I have a friend who's ill, and he's not a close friend, but I know him and I like him, and I noticed that I was wondering if there was something that he could do in order to help his condition. And since we're not that close, and since we even live states apart, I figured I would make this for him and for anybody else who might need it. It has to do with the right path. And this is not a path of, what are we talking about? Righteousness or moral high grounds or anything having to do with religion or anything like that. If it does have something to do with those things, it's not my intention. Like, it will happen to be connected to those things through other means, but not through my intention. So what's the right path? That's a question, right? It's a relative question. Has, depending on who you are, that's what the answer is going to be. So what I'm talking about, there's one thread that can run through all these right paths. And that is that in it has well-being. The path for all of us has well-being in common. Is there anything else that it might have in common? I'm sure if I stood here and thought about it more, I could find other things. But that's the most important one. So I asked my friend if there was anything that I can do to help, if there was anything that he could do to help. I asked him if he started working out and eating a certain way, if he changed his diet, right? I don't know what his diet is exactly, but it was just a suggestion. And most people, I think, would shy away from asking a question like that for fear of being offensive, right? But isn't that what people always ask for? Like, in retrospect, when somebody, let's say if somebody passes away, why wasn't anybody there for them? Or why wasn't anybody there for them, while they were alive, or before it was too late for something? So first off, you have to have the courage to speak up towards the people you care about, because it could go wrong and you could offend somebody, but you have to take the risk if you care about them. And you have to choose your words wisely. You have to measure yourself, and you have to make sure that your intentions are not coming from a lofty, self-righteous, self-inflated place. They have to be coming from a position of caring and concern. So why get better? Right? Let's say you're a rock star and you've been smoking your whole life and you drink a lot. Or let's say you overeat and you've been overeating for most of your life. Let's say you're 40 or 50 or 60 or 70, whatever. And you're like, well, I've been this way my whole life and this is how I'm going to go out. And you're on a path where you know that you might not be on the right path. And you may have had this gnawing feeling, but you've been ignoring it, and then it disappears. Not completely, but it gets very tiny, that voice, that conscience. So why would you, after all this investment into this non-well-being side of you, why would you want to get better? Well, first of all, it helps you perceive the world more clearly, because your vessel for perception is more acute. And another reason to get better, if you have children, if you have a child, or if you have kids, you want to be around for as long as you can, either to be there for them, or if you're estranged, to mend it with them or figure something out. You want to be better for your neighbors, and you want to be better for your family. You want to be better because it's the difficult thing to do. And if you're not doing the most difficult thing that you can think of that is within your capacity to do, then life is quite boring, and you'll get that I've been sitting around watching television all day feeling. And you want to get better because you care about yourself. You don't care about yourself? You want to get better because you want to care about yourself. You want to like not being good enough because you will enjoy. It'll give you the opportunity to make yourself better, and you enjoy opportunity. You want to get better because there's nothing else to do. And lastly, it feels good. Even if you think that you're dying, even if you think that it can't possibly make a difference, you want to get on the right path. Because the right path, that's the path that you want to die on. Now I'm not saying you're going to die. But I'm saying if from this moment on, no matter how much you've invested into the side of you that has not been invested in well-being, from this moment on, if you're going to go out, you're going to go out fighting from here to the rest of your days. And where is that? Where is that path? Right? It's too trite, and it's too simple, and it's too, it's easy for you to say type of thing. If I say to you, it's right here and it's right now. In this very moment, it's accessible. I'll tell you that. Now, is that an intense thing? That it's right here and it's right now and that it's accessible? No, it's not an intense thing. And don't worry about it, because this train never leaves. It's waiting for you as long as you're breathing, as far as I know, maybe afterwards, but who knows. But as far as I know, as long as you're breathing, that train is waiting for you, and it's waiting for you to get on it. But I'll tell you, this path has to be walked one step at a time. And it's something that you need to commit to over and over again by committing to one step at a time. So it's not like you make some big ass commitment, and it's not like you make some major explosive commitment. That's not how it works. That is Hollywood. What you have to do is you have to make small commitments over and over again. Maybe 10 times a day, maybe 100 times a day. However many times a day, the number doesn't matter. But you have to commit to each step. Don't look at the whole thing like if you are fighting a dragon and you look at the entire dragon and its teeth and the fire that it's pushing out of its nostrils and its enormous size. Of course, it's going to make you fearful. But if you focus on its throat or at its heart or whatever it is that you're trying to attack at the moment, that is a much more manageable and a more efficiently focused way of doing it. So don't look at the road going down the horizon. That road, that path going all the way into the horizon is none of your business. You're not over there right now. You're not at the horizon right now. So pay attention to your steps. And why, again, why would you want to get better? A reason for doing something is really important. You need reasons for doing something. If you're creative and you can't figure out why you can't get it together and why you can't come up with stuff or whatever it is that you do, if you don't have a good enough reason, that's how people work. If you don't have a good enough reason, it's going to be very difficult for you to pull it off. And the better your reasons, the more strength and momentum you have. Now, I wouldn't say momentum actually, but the more leverage you have. So why you would want to get better? Having reasons and paying attention to each step at a time and committing to each step at a time, not committing explosively to one enormous goal. You can do that too if that works for you. But you want to get better because it's the difficult thing to do. Not because it's the easy thing to do, but because it's the difficult thing to do. And this is life, and this is what there is to do. And this is truly living. And no matter what the situation is, it's never too late. Even if you can only do it in your mind. Even if you can only do it with your arms. Even if you can only walk but not run. If you can only swim but not walk. It's never too late to get on the right path. And at the risk of sounding morose, the right path, when they find my body, that's where it's going to be, along that path. And that path lends itself to fearlessness, to courage, because it has integrity. And through, you know that you're doing everything that you can.